Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Today we have got two games for you, Barcelona and Granada, coming up in what should be a pretty tasty episode. Now things have been going really well since you were last here. We'll talk about that in a minute, but just a few things I need to talk about first. Yesterday's episode there was a new Patreon and he has got a YouTube channel, so if you want to go and check it out, it's FM Trequartista. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want to check his channel out. And of course, if you want to join the Patreon, we need a name really. Rather than just join the Patreon, it needs to be like join the TomFM revolution, I don't know, something like that. That's what we need, a name. So if someone can think of a good name, let me know down in the comments. But if you want to join that, there's also links in the description to the Patreon as well. Next up, obviously the football season started this weekend for the Football League. Obviously Premier League starts next weekend. If you've got a fantasy Premier League team, then make sure you join the TomFM Fantasy League. I'll leave a link to fantasy football in the description along with the code that you need to join the league. So you can just copy and paste the code, put it in go into leagues, go to join league, join private league, and then there's a code you can put in there, and that will join you into the TomFM League. There's quite a few of you guys in there already. I've put it in things like Twitter and Discord and stuff like that. So if you want to get involved with that, that'd be fantastic. And finally, next week, videos are going to be a bit few and far between on the grounds that I'm kind of working. I'm head of sanitation at a festival. My friend puts on a festival. He's did it to the 4th year he's put it on now. There should be like 1,000 people going to this one, which is pretty cool. And I'm head of sanitation, so I'm in charge of toilets and bins and things like that. So this next week is set up for the festival for the next weekend, basically. So I'm going to be very busy doing various bits. So there'll be videos, but it just won't be every day and things like that. So just bear that in mind. And of course, if you want to come to the festival, if you're in and around Lincolnshire next weekend, then by all means, come along to it. I'll leave a link to the description to the festival website. We can get tickets and things like that. It's going to be a really good. And of course, I'll be there. So what's not to love? In fact, we may do a meet and greet. We'll push the headline act further down the pecking order, and then I'll be on there doing a meet and greet sort of thing probably. So go and do all that stuff. That'd be fantastic stuff. And now let's get into today's episode finally. So since you were last here, things have been incredible, I've got to say. I really thought we were going to struggle at the start of the season, but we've really just taken it in our stride. The new signings are clearly really good. Obviously, last episode we had the 2-0 win against Deportivo La Coruña. We then came up against Villarreal, and we were doing pretty well in it, actually. We went 1-0 up. Raul Thomas with a goal. David Cameron was sent off a few minutes later, and we really struggled after that. So I think we were quite lucky to get the draw. Villarreal, it was relatively even until we got a man sent off, and after that Villarreal were just on us constantly. So we're very lucky not to lose that game. So a nice draw there. We then played Real Madrid and won 2-1 in a fantastic game. We really just took it to them, I think. The formation we used was very good. We used the 5 at the back formation. We used the same formation against Villarreal, actually, the 5 at the back against Villarreal. And although Real Madrid may have had like 70% possession, we just made really good use of our chances. And to come away with a 2-1 win against them was absolutely fantastic. The first time we've beaten them in this series as well, so that was fantastic. Next up was Tenerife, and we were very unlucky there. A 96th minute penalty for them was the equaliser. Benjamin Rolheiser scored the goal in the 74th minute, then got injured in the process. So again, that was his first game back after injury in pre-season. He's now injured again for a little bit, which is a bit annoying. We then came up against Seville, Luka Adzic and Hans Osmanovic with the goals there to make sure we won that one 2-0 against a Seville side that should be good, but I think currently find themselves in the relegation zone. They had a real poor start to the season, so it was good and important that we won that game. And then last time out, we nearly bottled a 3-0 lead against Real Betis. We were 3-0 up at half-time, and we had a bit of a close shave towards the end as they pulled 2 goals back and could have had 2 or 3 more, I've got to say. So second half performance was rubbish, but we did enough in the first half to secure the win. So what all that means is that we sit 4th 6 games into this season on 14 points, ahead of opposition Barcelona today. Not had the best start, actually. 4 wins, 2 losses for them. They're on 12 points behind us. So they've had a bit of a unusual start for them, I've got to say. They wouldn't expect to be losing 2 games, but we've played really well. I'm really happy the way we've played, and hopefully today we'll have enough to beat Barcelona. So this is the lineup for today's game. Berke Urza starts in goal, and we're going to go for a 5 at the back wing-back system. It seemed to work very well against Real Madrid. It worked well against Seville? No, it wasn't Seville. Villarreal, that was who it was. Villarreal worked well against Villarreal until the man was sent off. So the back line is made up of Verba, Diaz and Romero, Cucurella and David Cameron as our wing-backs. Badeka and Maximovic come into the central midfield with Salah as that attacking playmaker. In behind, Raul Thomas, who's played very well when he has played. He's playing for a contract this season. His contract ends at the end of this season. And I was thinking about selling him over summer. Didn't happen in the end, but he's played very well in the two or three games he's played so far. Osmanovic has got 4 goals as well. He's our top goal scorer. So hopefully this partnership is going to be a nice one that's going to develop over the season. Right, kickoff is upon us here at home today. Hopefully we'll have that home advantage as we did with Real Madrid and manage to win the games. Osmanovic has been put forward very early on. Cross in just a little bit too much on it in this opening highlight of the game, the opening few seconds. Salah, we still hold possession actually. We're still trying to come forward, although we've given it away there. David Cameron and now the end of the highlight. But, you know, that's a promising start. Hopefully we can keep that kind of stuff up and hopefully grab 1 or 2 goals against Barcelona today. But okay, with the goal kick then, 5 minutes into this game, Raul Thomas sort of wins a header, I think, goes back towards Badeka and Salah now into Osmanovic, who puts a great ball out to Cucurella, who can put it back into Salah. Salah back to Maximovic. Maximovic out to David Cameron, who can, should have just swung it into the area, but he's got another chance to now as he puts it in too much on it, back to Badeka, who gets it back to Cucurella. Cucurella now on the ball. Used to be a Barcelona player, of course, so Barcelona know all about him. Verba's ball forward was very, very good in the end because that was a poor header from Dalbert. It went straight to Hans Osmanovic and we are 1-0 up against Barcelona 6 minutes into this game. Come on, boys. Obviously, there's a long way to go in this game still, but it does give me confidence, especially, I mean, if their goal was, if our goal, sorry, was an absolute ridiculous goal to concede, that was a equally ridiculous goal to concede. A massive, massive deflection on the end of Rakitic's shot there, which put it in the back of the net. So frustrating stuff that, I've got to say. But, you know, 2 awful goals, that's surely offside. Surely offside. It has been offside. Thank you, linesman. I appreciate that. Yeah, both goals are sort of ridiculous, actually, I've got to say. So they cancel each other out. So it's essentially 0-0 again. My aim for this season is Europa League football, I've got to say. I think we've been on the cusp of the past 2 seasons, really, when we shouldn't have been. Well, at least I didn't think we should be. But for 2 seasons in a row, we've done pretty well as Badeka manages to put one in the back of the net there from the middle of the penalty area. Fantastic stuff, that. We're 2-1 up now against Barcelona. That was a great goal. As I was saying, though, we've been on the cusp of European football twice. I think the team we've got right now and the start we've had shows that we are capable of getting European football. And I'm sure at some point, you know, we're going to settle back into a more... I mean, look at that run from Messi. That was a pretty decent run from him. But as I was saying, I'm sure we're going to settle back into more Oviedo-ish sort of form and you start to lose a few games. We've not lost a game yet this season, which is pretty good, including pre-season. So I'm happy. We've got winning mentality and things like that. We don't know how to lose this season. But I'm sure we'll settle into that pretty quickly and we'll have to have a fight for 6th, 5th place. I wouldn't have thought we'd be in Champions League places. We shouldn't be, really, I've got to say. But performances so far seem to suggest otherwise. We've done very, very well at the start of this season. As David Cameron now with another chance to put a ball into the area. Raul Thomas can't get head onto it, but goes to Badeka. Osmanovic tackled. It's a penalty. Raul Thomas is going to take it, apparently. Is he the best person to? Yes, most definitely the best person to take it. So we're going to trust in RDT. Can he put it in the back of the net? He steps up. He looks cool, calm, collected, and it's... 2 penalties we've had this season, and we've missed them both, and they've both been on camera, so we don't have good luck at the moment when it comes to penalties, but with results otherwise, pretty good luck. Like, stat-wise, we are matching Barcelona right now, which is very, very good, because last season, when we beat Barcelona last season, actually, as well, but that was a lucky game, really. We had, like, 1 or 2 lucky shots, but this time, apart from possession, we are matching them, essentially, which is very, very good, I've got to say. I'm pleased with that. I'm going to say calmly out there, I'm happy with the performance so far. Keep it up. The only issue, I mean, this formation is working really well against these good teams. As Salah's been put forward into Osmanovic, shot just wide. But the issue I have with this 5 at the back system is that our 2 best players are wingers in Adzic and Orsolini. They are the best players we've got in terms of attributes and star ability and things like that. And this formation does not allow them to play, which, I mean, it isn't a bit of an issue, I've got to say. It is an issue. So I think this formation we have to use against like your Barcelonas and your Real Madrids, and it gives us a bit more stability at the back, allows us to counter-attack, things like that. But in other games, we have to play wingers because our 2 best players are wingers, and we can't just leave them out. I mean, I suppose we could leave them out, but it wouldn't make sense to me. I think we have to have formations where they play and things like that. So I feel like I have to use wingers most of the time. Barcelona have a chance to build from the back, but they haven't done it very well as David Cameron now picks the ball up on the right-hand side of the pitch on a yellow card, which is risky because we know what he's like, as Osmanovic nearly made it 3-1 there. That was a beautiful chance. And look at the stats now, I've got to say. We are dominating Barcelona in this game. I'm reluctant to change things because we're winning. But I don't want David Cameron being sent off because that's happened before. So we may bring Chalobah on for him, and we'll leave it like that for now, just because I'm worried about the red card. Raul Thomas also sitting on a 6, actually. I know that's literally because he missed a penalty. Like, if you miss a penalty in this, it ruins your rating, but we may as well just bring on Solanke, which apparently I'm saying wrong. Solanke. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but, you know, I'll say what I want to say, and you can tell me in the comments that I'm wrong, and I will eventually listen to you, maybe like 3 or 4 episodes in the future. Chalobah on the ball now, though, with a chance to try and build something, as we seem to have a few men committed forward. Let's just calm it down a little bit, as Solanke can't quite get on the end of that ball put forward. Osmanovic on the ball now, though, and he's got a chance to put Salai forward. Salai manages to chip, I think it was a chip over the goalkeeper, and we've 3-1 up now against Barcelona. Honestly, we are the team to beat this season. We have to be. Surely this cements us as the team to beat this season. We've had the toughest start to the season, and yet we've beaten reigning champions Real Madrid. We have beaten Barcelona, or nearly beaten Barcelona. We've drawn with Tenerife. Like, it's magical. Barcelona really in disarray now. All their balls are not very good. I mean, they're just not doing much, are they? We've got to say. They're really not doing much. As Osmanovic has been put forward now from the back. Can he get round a defender? He can. Passes it off to Dominic. Dominic, straight at the goalkeeper there, had a superb chance. That's our 4th clear-cut chance of the game as well. We have absolutely dominated Barcelona today, and I mean, this gives me so much confidence for the rest of the season. So much confidence. And if we can sort of keep this core side together for the next 2 seasons or so, whilst our good regens come through, like, who knows what we could do? We could win a Europa League or something like that. Or am I not being ambitious enough? We're beating Barcelona. Surely it's Champions League we should be winning. It should be champion. And there you have it. Oviedo 3, Barcelona 1. Could have been 4 if Raul Thomas scored his penalty as well. Could have been 5 if they scored the penalty and Dominic Solanke scored that sitter as well. We could have absolutely battered Barcelona today. And we have, but we could have done it by even more. I mean, look at that. We've actually dominated Barcelona today. Possession was actually very even in the end, so the second half was clearly very good for us. Like, I'm loving that. 7 matches in a row without losing now is very, very good. Watchers probably now lose to, who do we play next? Granada. Watchers probably get destroyed by Granada, I think. We've got international break in between this and the Granada games. That's going to take a while to sit through. So I'm going to sit through it, go through international break, and I will see you at the Granada game. Right, we're finally here then at the Granada game. So we need to change things up. We're going to move back to the winger formation. So start from the back. The defence looks good to me, although I think we're going to play Diaz instead of Romero in this game because I want to give him game time. Granada down at 18th, so I think it's worth playing Diaz in a game like this where we could pick up a clean sheet. I want him to get like 20-ish games this season, at least 20 games, so we need to get them in, which to be fair, actually, this is probably like his 5th game or so. Badeka and Maximovic can swap over. I'm tempted to leave Romero there, actually, in that sort of CDM role, perhaps, but Gene Ruiz likes to play there as well. He needs a bit of game time. Sansa, actually, I think we'll bring on for Badeka today because I want to give Sansa a bit of game time. He's not played recently. Up front, Osmanovic will stay up front, which means that we're going to put the Thomas on the bench, not have Lozano on the bench, which means that we bring on Orsolini on the right, Adzic on the left, and actually we may take Solanke off for Rolheiser just in case, because he's not played too much recently. He needs a bit of game time as well, so we may make a few subs in this game. Right, kickoff is upon us. We are away to Granada today, so a little bit slightly more challenging when you're away from home, but I still think we should be very capable of winning, especially when you saw what we did to Barcelona last game. How, of course, it would be just Football Manager in a nutshell if we beat Barcelona one game and then go and lose to Granada in the next game. So I'm expecting anything right now. Or it could just be a really, really boring game. There we go. The first, as I say things like that, the first highlight of the game, 27 minutes into it. Sunset shot from distance, narrowly wide. Perhaps if he had a bit more game time recently, he'd be able to curl it into a top corner. He's not played too much because Badeka and Maximovic have made a real good midfield partnership so far. They've been playing really, really well. So I just want to keep them together, basically. But we do need to rotate a little bit, keep the map sharpness of other key players out there. Sunset is a very, very good midfielder. In fact, he's probably the best midfielder we've got. It's just that I like Badeka because he's under 21 European Championship player of a tournament, and I want to use him and sign him in the future. And then I want to use Maksimovic as well, because we spent money on him last season. He was injured all the time, so I feel like I have to use him to get my money's worth for him. In a way, he's a good box-to-box midfielder as well. He's done very well. He's not put a foot wrong when he's been playing, really. So it's hard to not pick him, as Pucko is on the ball for Granada. Of course, he used to play for us and is now trying to punish us by putting a cross into his mate, who can only head it over the bar. I mean, it's been a very, very boring first half. Nothing has happened. It's 0-0. We're going to go aggressive. We're going to go... I'm far from pleased from what I've just seen from this team, especially after beating Barcelona 2 weeks ago before international break. So we have to be doing better than this, as Maksimovic slowly makes his way to the ball and the second half gets underway. I mean, I won't complain with a draw, because we are sitting third in the table right now as things stand. A win would put us into second, 4 points behind Atletico Madrid, who are still unbeaten so far this season. They've won every game still. We've got a chance now, though, to try and break the deadlock, as Orsolini puts Osmanovic through. He's in behind the defence. His shot, terrifically saved by the goalkeeper there. Really, really good save there. Forces a corner, and it's cleared by the first man. Maksimovic plays back in towards Ruiz, into Sanset. Sanset, his ball towards Osmanovic wasn't the best, but David Cameron can just hoof it out of play. You know, if in doubt, get it out. I suppose that's the conservative model, perhaps. I mean, come on, I swear if we don't win this game, Ruiz is not going to play anymore. He's going to come off the pitch. We'll have two strikers on instead. We'll bring with the Thomas on, get him going as a Trequartista as well. Orsolini, he has good games and bad games. It's a little bit weird, but we'll leave on the pitch for now. Borja Fernandez is going to come on for Maksimovic. See if him and Sanset can form a bit of a partnership, the two of those two in midfield. Chance now for us, though, as Orsolini loses possession, but we have won it back, and that was a great ball. Can Adzic get there? He does, into the Thomas, who literally from point blank range hits the crossbar. How are we not winning this game? That's what I want to know. Like, how are we not winning this? Diaz, his header over the bar. Defensively, we've been very good. Like, Diaz has done his bit. You know, the youngsters come in. He comes and plays in defence, and he's done very, very well this season so far. Another clean sheet under his belt today, if he manages to keep Granada out. However, offensively today, we've not been good enough, which I find ridiculous, considering that our two best players are wingers and they're inside forwards. I feel like they're almost like strikers themselves, where they should be cutting inside, things like that. Pucko on the ball now for Granada, although his clearance isn't great. David Cameron plays it back to Berke Urza, who plays it out to Cucurella, who's got space on the left-hand side. Adzic is fouled. No, just tackled by his man, apparently. And here come Granada again. If they score from this, I'm going to be so cross, as Alex is really open on that left-hand side of the pitch for Granada. Puts it in. Berke with a huge save back out towards Alex, into Borja Fernandez and cleared. But that could have easily been a Granada goal if we'd not switched on. We will make one more change. We're going to bring on Rolheiser for Orsolini. Adzic played very well, apparently. We're going to move up to attacking as well. We're going to go a little bit more fluid for these final 10 minutes or so of the game. We're going to demand more as well, because I'm demanding more from these boys right now. We need to find something from somewhere to make sure we win this game. It's not going to happen, is it? It's actually not going to happen. We're going to draw to Granada. We're actually going to draw to Granada, unless in this final minute we can do something. It's possible still, although they've got the ball, as shown. Passes it out towards their man Manhut on the ball now. Nano coming forward with it. They've got numbers here. Pucko on the ball now. His ball to Johnson was decent. The ball back to Diaz. Diaz intercepts. The clearance wasn't very good. I feel like this is just going to be the final highlight of the game. Although Osmanovic in behind the defence hits the... I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry. Although I'm going to get... that goes again. I'm going aggressive then. I am angry. You were not good enough tonight out there. A disappointing 0-0 draw with Granada. I'm not going to lie. I am disappointed with that. But we're third in the table at the end of the episode. We're 3 points clear of Barcelona. We're safely in Champions League right now. We're not going to fall out of European places for a few games. Even if we lose the next 3 games, I don't think we're going to fall out. So it's good news in that regard, but it is disappointing to not come away with all 6 points today from today's episode. We are still unbeaten though, so a fantastic episode. We're still unbeaten in every game this season, including friendlies. Next episode, we're going to do Malaga and Atletico Madrid. I know we always do Malaga, but it just seems... I want to do Atletico Madrid because they're top of the table. This could be the first game we lose this season, Atletico Madrid, if we keep our form up. But Atletico Madrid have got better form, and Malaga are just always in an episode somewhere, aren't they, every season? Well, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Real Oviedo action.